Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Diana and I don't have a nice title yet for this channel, considering this is only my second video. But hello, welcome. Thank you all who commented on the last video and welcoming me to the BookTube community. I really appreciate it. My cat Carrie was just on my lap and left. She might make an appearance later on, complaining that I'm not petting her. So yeah, you actually might get to see her this video. So I decided for my second video to do a book haul video. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what I wanted to talk about, and then I noticed the stack of new books that I've bought so far in 2019 had gotten so large it was roughly the same height as my cat. So I decided partially to talk about what I'm excited about and also to shame myself into reading what I've bought and not just continuing to check out library books to talk about my book haul. So most of the books that I'm going to talk about I've bought. I did get 2 ARCs from Del Rey when I visited their booth a couple weekends ago at Emerald City Comic Con. So thank you very much, Del Rey, for those ARCs. I really appreciate them. And I wasn't joking about the size of this. So first up, I have the two new 2019 releases by one of my all-time favorite authors. The first is That Ain't Witchcraft. And one of my favorite authors is Seanan McGuire. So That Ain't Witchcraft is book number 8, I want to say, of the Encrypted series. I'm currently behind on reading them. So the Encrypted series covers the Price family, and there are a bunch of cryptozoologists who help cryptids. They defected from a group called the Covenant of St. George. And the books so far follow different family members. So books 1 and 2 and 5 followed daughter Verity. Books 3 and 4 followed son Alex. And then books 6 through 8, of which this is the latest one, follow youngest daughter Antimony. So this book is about Antimony being on her own. It's about debts coming due and determining the future of the Price family. So I'm excited. Like I said, I need to catch up, but I really like this series. The second one by Seanan McGuire is An Absent Dream. It's the new Wayward Children novel. And so this book is about the backstory of the character Lundy, who we meet in the first novella, Every Heart a Doorway. So this is about Lundy's adventures in the Goblet Market, the deals we make, and the price we pay for those bargains. I'm also behind on this series, but I'm very excited to catch up, especially in time for the 5th book next year. I also just really like the book that Tor.com has put out. Normally I wouldn't buy a novella in hardcover, but the quality of these is really, really nice. Switching pace a little bit, the next book is The True Queen by Zen Cho. This is the sequel to her first novel, Sorcerer to the Crown. I loved Sorcerer to the Crown. It was a lot of what I really like. In fantasy, it had great female characters. It had a really innovative magic system. And it also had just a really nice retelling of kind of standard, what people might consider standard Regency tropes. And you can hear my cat in the background. Like I said, she's mad I'm not paying attention to her. So The True Queen is the follow-up, and it follows 2 sisters, both of whom lose their memories and one of whom starts to disappear. So the other sister has to go to England and figure out what's happening. I want to reread Sorcerer to the Crown first, but I'm very excited for this. And I love the cover a lot. It's really pretty. Moving into YA, We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. So this one, a friend has actually read this, an arc, and it is basically Latina lesbians blowing shit up for the cause of the revolution, and I'm very excited for this. I haven't read anything by this author before. I think this is actually her first novel. Anyway, I'm really excited. It's a new to me author. The premise sounds fantastic, and the cover is gorgeous. I'm also really excited because this author is going to be having a Rick Riordan Presents book coming out in 2020, which is reinterpreting the legend of La Llorona. So I'm very excited for that as well. I really love the Rick Riordan line, as evidenced by the fact that next book is The Dragon Pearl by Yoon Ha Lee. I have not actually read any of Yoon Ha Lee's novels. I own them, but I haven't read them yet. But The Dragon Pearl sounded fantastic. It is a 12-year-old fox spirit Min who needs to go find her brother. It's really cool blending of fantasy and space opera, and I do love both of those genres, so I'm really excited to read this. I've heard fantastic things about Yoon Ha Lee's writing, and I'm really looking forward to digging my teeth into that. Next book, two books are both by the same author. The first is The Afterword, and they're both by E.K. Johnston. And so The Afterword is about what happens after a fantasy quest, what happens when the people come home and how do they adjust, what's changed, and what happens after. And one of the formative reading influences on me was Tamora Pierce, and it inspired a lifelong love of badass ladies with swords. And when I saw the cover, I knew I wanted this book. So this book follows primarily two young women, Ulsa and Calente, and what happens to them after they come home from this life and kingdom-changing quest. And it has queer ladies. It is, from what I've heard, a really good examination of patriarchy and prejudice and just different barriers people face. So I'm very excited. That is The Afterword by E.K. Johnston. The next one is the book that I've been waiting for since I was 8 years old and first saw Phantom Menace in the movie theater. Queen's Shadow. It is about Padme's transition from queen to senator. This is set in the 10 years between episodes 1 and 2. And in addition to Padme, it also stars her handmaiden. So it has a fantastic cast of badass young ladies. And like I said, I've been waiting for a real book about Padme forever. Padme is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. She's, I would argue, the main character of episode 1. And there has been very little content specifically focused on her. And I'm really hoping that this means that we're going to be getting more in the future. Please, Lucasfilm Publishing, give me more Padme. Give all of us more Padme. It's what we deserve. So yeah, this is probably the one I'm going to read next because I'm really excited and I love Padme a lot. Hi, Kat. Next up is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I really love Roshani's writing. The Star-Touched Queen was absolutely fantastic. Her Rick Riordan Presents novel Arusha and The End of Time was a lot of fun. And then this one had me sold when the description was heists in Paris with found family feels. And heists and found families are two of my absolute favorite story tropes. So I made sure to buy this. I'm also really excited to get started and just to see what happens. Finally, the last book that I bought is Light Brigade by Kameron Hurley. I haven't read any of Kameron Hurley's novels, but I loved her essay collection, which was published by Tor a few years ago. And I really enjoy her writing, her nonfiction writing in general. And a friend had gotten an advance copy of The Light Brigade. So The Light Brigade is Hurley's twist, or Hurley's interpretation on some classic Highland tropes, which is grunts and anti-capitalism in the future. And the premise is soldiers are paid by corporations and they are transmitted to far-off places and beams of light, and shenanigans happen. I've heard very good things about this. I'm probably going to save it for a time when I can just read it straight through. So yeah, The Light Brigade by Cameron Hurley. And finally, the two arcs that I was lucky enough to get from Del Rey. The first is The Woman's War by Jenna Glass. This one is currently available. And so the premise of The Woman's War is that there's magic that women get, and it changes the balance of power of things. And so it's been, the way it's been sold is a feminist epic fantasy. And so I'm interested to see how it's handled. It could either be very good or very gender essentialist, and I'm a little, I don't know which one it will be. I haven't heard too much about it and from people I know, so it'll be interesting to see what's in there. And finally, I was really lucky to get an arc of one of my most anticipated 2019 books, Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I loved one of her previous novels, Certain Dark Things, which is her vampire noir novel. So Gods of Jade and Shadow is Mayan gods in 1920s Mexico. I love historical fiction, especially historical fantasy, and I haven't actually read a lot of stuff that's set in the Jazz Age, and especially not some stuff that's set in 1920s Mexico. So I'm really excited. I've read the first few pages, and I need to sit down and finish it because it's excellent. I've already pre-ordered this as well. This comes out in, I want to say August 6th. I know it's in August. I can't remember the specific date. But yeah, Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. So I don't know, I'm going to try and do videos every few weeks from here on out. I'm still sorting out just scheduling, filming, editing, because I've never actually edited before. So I'm trying not to overextend myself and commit to something that I can't do. But anyway, I will hopefully have something new up in the next few weeks. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe. And are there any books that came out in Q1 that you've either bought or borrowed that you're really excited about? Let me know. Bye, everyone.